time last year, we were knee-deep in our off-grid dream build with Ronnie at Airstream Nuts Bolts, recording a 2-part series packed with all the juicy details. This included 2 Battleborn GC3 batteries totaling 540 amp hours, 1,000 watts of solar, an Aircrafter's onboard generator, and DC-to-DC charging. But now with the new truck, we need to add charging back so we can snag a whopping 700 watts of juice while driving, even if it's pouring rain. So we made a quick detour through Alabama to catch up with Ronnie and Tara. And since there's just one thing to do, we're letting the camera roll so you can learn as much as possible from Ronnie.
If you're doing this yourself, I've seen this multiple times, it's wrong. I don't care what you're adding to your Ford truck.
Of course, if you know Mark, there's never just one thing. So we'll change out our outdoor shower with a quick disconnect, add a new propane surprise for outdoor grilling, change the oil in the generator, and restock Ronnie's shop with some fresh flamingos.
Don't leave me here with these guys. I want to come with you guys.
It's a 50-50 shot if we come back.
Looks like you're having so much more fun.
We are. Yeah. We really are.
Ronnie, he won't stop talking about Airstreams and trucks.
I know. Exactly. I live with him. He reads the owner's manuals for fun.
Housekeeping.
Do not disturb.
Charlie, how did you get yourself wrapped up like that? It's a gift, Dad. Charlie.
Trying to get this place backed up.
Okay, you ready to go? You got your hair curled?
It'll last for about 2 seconds here in Alabama.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, let's go see Ronnie and Tara.
I'm just about ready.
Okay, good. Me too.
I really want to see if Charlie's gonna walk up in his steps again.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I bet if you just tell him, he'll do it.
You think so?
He knows how to do it.
Good boy. For those that have an Airstream, I put the steps up. Patricia's still inside and she's getting everything ready in there. Anytime I put the steps up, I make an announcement. I say the steps are up. I like wait for a receipt, meaning some sort of copy, 10-4, roger that, something. You imagine walking out in an RV and there not being a step? And that's so likely when you're packing up to leave. That's one of the reasons why we have the metal stool with us, is because it's planted on the ground, and when I put the steps up, sometimes I'll just replace it with the metal stool. Not to mention it's handy to have for, you know, reaching the awning, doing any maintenance. Now with the smart cap, I can put it on the side of the rig and I can reach something. So having this metal stool is so handy. Okay, we good?
Phone? Yes.
Great.
Give the keys. We're ready. How fun is that? Little flowers underneath. That's so awesome.
Man, look at all those Airstreams over there. Whose are all those?
2 are done.
Yeah?
So 2 are being picked up and 1 is a drop-off.
Man, you're jumping right in.
I'm trying to do right.
What are you doing here?
You're about to hook up your DCDC charger for your trailer.
So are you just hooking right up to a terminal?
Yeah, we're gonna put actually a new lug-in on your battery right here.
Okay.
We're gonna hook up to 12 volts DC. Hook
Okay.
up to an Anderson connector on the back of your truck.
There you go.
Then I'll plug in with your existing plug and you'll be good to go.
Okay, so why do I not need the dual alternator? Because I was surprised to hear you say that.
The way the Victron DCDC is designed, it's designed to be able to just take the 50 amps. So you've got a 200, if you have a single alternator, most of the time it's 220 amp alternator. So it's going to put out plenty of power to be able to support it. But the DCDC actually conditions the input or takes the input that the alternator can provide. So it's not going to, it's designed to not overload the alternator. So if you have two, great. It's going to be less work on both of them. But if you have one, it's still fine because the DCDC is well within the parameters of what the alternator can put out.
Interesting. Do you think because it's not going to be, it's going to have excess capacity, it's going to charge more?
It's you in the software we program it to charge at 50 amps. So it's only going to take 50.
Okay. And that's about 750 watts, isn't it?
Yeah. 750 watts at 13.2 volts.
Okay.
So it will, you know, the biggest thing with the DCDCs that a lot of people don't realize is everybody worries about protecting the alternator from the lithium batteries. And yes, that's part of it because the lithium batteries have very little internal resistance. So they'll take a charge really, really fast, which means the alternator would give it a charge very fast, which we call the alternator to overheat. But the main reason that you want to have a DCDC in place is, let's say you pull over somewhere and stop for the night. If you left your umbilical plugged up, your 7-pin or your DCDC, if you don't have the DCDC, you leave the 7-pin plugged up, the resting voltage of this truck battery is 12.8 volts. So when you have the truck turned off, this battery relaxes and rests at 12.8.
Okay.
Lithium batteries rest at 13.2.
Okay.
So the voltage is higher on the trailer than it is on the truck. So what ends up happening is throughout the night, the truck pulls power from the trailer batteries to try to charge this battery up to 13.2.
Interesting.
So you have an equilibrium, and if you have higher pressure on one side than the other, it's going to try to equalize itself out. So the truck becomes a load on your trailer. So when you wake up in the morning and your batteries are depleted down, you didn't actually use all that power. The truck pulled it in reverse through the 7-pin back to the truck's battery.
Okay. Is there something as a user I need to be aware of then?
No, well, I mean, with the DCDC, it has engine run detection. So we have isolated your 7-pin connection inside the trailer from the batteries. So when you plug in your 7-pin, that black wire, the positive 12-volt wire from the 7-pin, is isolated inside here. So it's not connected to the batteries.
Is that something you did, or
that's something we did when we did the install?
So that's something that someone would need to do.
Right. You would want to isolate that so that when you add the DCDC, the only way your trailer is getting a charge from the truck is through the DCDC umbilical. The only way that this charging system is tied to the trailer is through the DCDC, and the DCDC has engine run detection, and what that is, a fancy way of saying basically is it monitors the input voltage, and in the software I can program that once the input voltage is above, say, 13.8, because when you crank your truck, your alternator is going to put out 14.4. That's what it should put out, is 14.4, which is what it wants to charge this and run all the electronics inside. So when you crank your vehicle, the voltage goes up in the system to what the alternator is putting out, which is 14.4, which exceeds the 13.8 threshold, which then closes a relay inside the DCDC, essentially connecting the truck and the trailer together through that relay. And then when you turn the truck off, the voltage will sag down below the 13.8 threshold, and therefore the relay will open up, essentially disconnecting the truck and the trailer from each other, preventing you from backfeeding from the trailer into the truck.
Okay. So maybe after we get the truck wired up, or John gets it wired up, then you could do a walkthrough on what's happening on the Airstream side.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
You had mentioned earlier wanting to discuss the 30 amp version versus the 50 amp version of DCDC and kind of how that changed. I just happen to have, because we don't install them anymore because they're older technology, I have a 30 amp DCDC, and a 50 amp.
Oh my gosh, the
let's
50
go
is so
over
much
the table.
smaller.
Oh yeah, lots. So yeah, Victron changed the technology a ton inside this, and now it's all done electronically.
Okay.
So a whole lot less transformers and coils and that kind of stuff in there. So doesn't even have the cooling fins needed. So this one's operating temperature is significantly less
Interesting.
than the old 30 amp version, which this one basically operated like a solar charge controller, and the alternator was thought as solar panels, so to speak. So it's like the alternator was providing voltage like a solar panel would for an MPPT solar charge controller, and then it put out based on that. But it's a 12 volt input, 12 volt output, and this was a 30 amp version.
Okay.
The new one obviously is done through electronics. Completely redesigned it. This is an IP43 rated one, which basically means it's dust protected.
Okay.
This one's IP65, so this one's like waterproof. So the circuit board inside it is potted in a compound that makes it all, you can mount this thing, you know, under the hood of a truck if you wanted it under the hood of a truck for guys who have like truck campers, or it can be mounted in an outside storage bay on a fifth wheel, you know, some area that's not necessarily going to be hermetically controlled.
Okay. Now, can someone install this on their rig and not have the multi plus 2 and a big inverter? I mean, just do the DC to DC?
Sure you could.
Okay.
If you had, I mean, if you had lithium batteries,
like let's just say 2 lithium batteries in your battery box, right? And then you did the DC to DC charging, so you had crazy charging while you're driving down the road.
Right. And you know, at 50 amps, I mean, 200 amp hours of battery, 4 hours of driving, you could go from dead to full, essentially.
Well, that's why I used the term game changer earlier, which I think is overplayed, but it really is.
Yeah, no, it's a big input source. I mean, it's like having another 750 watts of solar on the roof of your rig.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's a big input. So some of the options associated with these things, you know, like I said, the old technology obviously ran a lot hotter. You had to have a lot more aluminum cooling fins, a lot of things like that. So some of the things to consider though, if you're installing one of these things, is like you can't just swap. If you have a 30 amp installed, you can't just swap it out for a 50. The wire sizes are different.
Oh, really?
So this can operate off 6-gauge wire. This has to operate off 4-gauge wire.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be a direct swap out.
You'd have to run the whole.
You have to run the whole thing.
Okay.
You know, yours, when we're running the truck, we're running 4-gauge again, because on the white truck we ran 4-gauge when it was there. You already have your umbilical that comes in is 4-gauge all the way through, so that that's already been done. But if we were upgrading you from, say, this one to this one, we would have to essentially re-pull the wire in the trailer also.
Gotcha.
And change those fuse sizes out to accommodate the larger charge. So what John's doing now is he is running the 4-gauge wire from the rear of the truck to the front of the truck, following the factory wiring harness.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then if you can get, like, he's running just a positive wire to the front.
Okay. He'll ground it.
We'll frame ground in the back, but we'll make sure that we've got a good ground. You know, there's always, you know, your risk of running a frame ground is having a faulty ground or a poor ground. We will make sure that we clean a spot, we ground it, and then we protect that ground so that it's done. I mean, the whole truck uses frame grounds throughout. You just have to make sure that if you're going to do a frame ground, that you got the coating cleaned in that spot, and then you apply the ground, and then you recoat that area.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff wired up in there too with the compressor and the tank.
Yeah, generally I'll follow this harness, but I'll go in front of or stay on the inside of the suspension here.
Okay.
But since you already got it like that, I'm just gonna keep on following it around.
Yeah.
Put it back over and off.
All right, so what kind of fuse?
Maxi 60 amp.
Maxi 60 amp?
Yeah. So the positive wire that John has ran from the back of the truck to the front of the truck will now connect to, you could either connect it to the positive terminal on the battery, which is where he's going. He's probably got a lug there.
I'm about to put one in.
Yep. Or you could go to the positive terminal off the alternator.
Okay.
On the Ford trucks, it's easier to go to the positive terminal on the battery because the alternators are usually buried in the rig, and all it is a piece of wire that runs from the alternator to the battery. So it's the same connection point. There, but yeah, we'll fuse it at 60 amps here all the way aft, and then you have the fuse already inside the trailer that fuses the output side of it. So the input side is fused here all the way to the back. That protects the wire all the way through the truck back to the Anderson plug on the back of the truck.
Gotcha.
And then from the output side of the DCDC, it's protected going into the trailer. if you're doing this yourself, I've seen this multiple times, is wrong. I don't care what you're adding to your Ford truck. These bolts right here, this one and this one, are not connection points. They are to tighten the lug on the terminal, and this actually has not very good connectivity. So if we check the ohms of resistance off of this pin here, because it just tightens this up, and this is not good conductive material, it's not the place to do it. So most people would just take this bolt out, put their lug underneath it, and tighten it down. That's not a very good connection point. So what John is actually doing, if you'll notice on the negative side, they have a stud already in the negative side on this side mounted there. So what we're going to do is this plate right here where the stud should be, he is drilling a hole through the copper here, and we're going to put a stud here.
Is that the stud?
That'll be the stud. It'll go through the bottom, come up, and then that bolt will actually bolt this down to there, not to here. That's a problem. We see it all the time. Like let's look over here and see. Yeah, see, here's good. See, you have a stud on this one, and that's where it needs to be. It needs to be here. A lot of people use this bolt right here, and this bolt does not have good connection to the battery.
Okay.
And the reason that we're connecting to that battery instead of this battery is because from the rear to the front, the factory wiring harness runs on that side of the truck. How much better can we frame it? I mean, look.
So that's the 50 amp DC to DC charger. Oh, it's actually the Orion, right?
It's a 50 amp DCDC. Orion is what they call it.
Okay. Okay, what are all the cables? We got 2 red and 1 black.
Right, so it is a non-isolated DCDC.
Okay.
Meaning that the ground is not isolated from each other. The truck ground and the trailer ground are not isolated from each other. And there's no reason to isolate them because we're not dealing with any sort of marine galvanic corrosion or anything like that where we have to have an isolator for it.
Okay.
Plus, once you connect the truck and the trailer together with the trailer ball, they're essentially grounded together through the connection of the trailer ball itself anyway.
Okay.
So it's a non-isolated ground. So you have an input hot, which comes, or an input voltage that comes from the truck. And
4 gauge.
And you have output voltage that goes to the system, 4 gauge also, for it. And then you only have 1 ground. So the way it's wired is you have the negative connection from the umbilical. So you have 2 wires on your umbilical out there. The negative connection just comes in here and connects to the trailer, to the negative connection of the trailer, your big negative DC distribution of the trailer.
Okay.
So umbilical, negative, connects to the negative of the trailer, and then the negative from the DC-DC also connects to the negative of the trailer. So technically they connect together, but the input is grounded to the trailer, and then the input on the DC-DC is grounded to the trailer.
So if you didn't have a big system or solar system inverter, the output would not go to the Multi+2 or the Quattro. The output would go directly to your batteries.
Directly to the batteries. And now, the way this goes is the output actually goes to a distribution hub, which in turn connects to the system, which encompasses the batteries.
Okay, but if you didn't have a big system either, would it even be inside the trailer, or would the Orion be mounted to the battery box?
It could be mounted in the battery box. It could be mounted inside the trailer. It could be mounted pretty much anywhere.
Well, if you didn't have
IP65 rated.
Yeah, because you were just explaining that on the 50 amp, it's all sealed and waterproof. So if you
had room in your exterior battery box, you could actually mount it in the battery box.
Yeah, making it a lot easier for someone to do it themselves.
Right, because all you have to do is come from the truck to the input side, ground it to the batteries, and then go out.
So now you're doing the ground of the frame?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's why I got this out, because I got one of the frame bolts out.
I see.
Grind it down. I put it in with the frame bolt itself, so we don't have to put any additional holes in. It's nice about the Ford trucks. Some other trucks you have to put
a hole.
Yeah, an additional hole in, and we try to avoid that at all costs.
It does look bigger, doesn't it?
It is a little bit bigger. It's just the one size bigger.
Okay.
But same size wire. We're just
okay. You're just gonna flip it anyway. It doesn't matter.
Put a brand new clip there, and then we'll be good to go.
Oh yeah, and then we gotta switch out the 7-way too.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. Did you make it longer?
I just pulled a little slack from the inside. We're gonna go ahead and make it up, and then
see how much
still short enough. We'll pull some more.
Right. Yep.
Take a gander. Hello, old friend. It's good to see you. Yeah, so what I want to do is just take a quick peek in here and check our connections. Make sure everything looks good. Make sure you hadn't been in here messing around or tinkering. I don't see any of that, so that's good. Battery wires, make sure everything feels tight, looks tight, everything looks great.
The artist complimenting his own art.
This is perfect. You could do a little better job of vacuuming in here, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean the big thing is the DC charging. I just can't believe how effective that is because we drive so much and it rains so much.
Yeah.
So I'm almost to the point where I think that's probably the first, if someone has already moved to 2 lithium batteries, that the most effective thing they can do for recharging is DC to DC with that Victron Orion. And then start moving into other ways to recharge because they're going to get more bang for buck out of that.
Right.
You agree?
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, you got 700, you got a guaranteed output.
A guaranteed 700.
Rain, night,
yes,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Doesn't matter when. So that's the thing with the generator, too, that a lot of people are always, they're like, should I carry portable panels or should I carry a generator? You should always carry a generator over carrying a bunch of portable panels. You can get a little Honda EU 2200, it weighs 47 pounds. A portable panel array is bigger, heavier, all the things. Plus, it only works during the daytime.
That's right.
Generator works anytime, and the generator will run the air conditioner.
Yes.
The portable panels won't run the air conditioner.
That's exactly right.
So it's always better to carry, a little portable generator with you if you don't, have an onboard or whatever. But yeah, that DC-DC is guaranteed output. You're going to get that all the time, whereas with solar, you're going to get what you get. The beauty of solar is it's kind of like the little engine that could, it may not be a lot.
It's working when you're not even thinking about it.
Right, it's just always doing something, so you just keep pouring a little bit in, pouring a little bit in, pouring a little bit in. Eventually, over time, you've poured a lot in.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. So.
Hey, you told me to get one of these.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
Because you told me to get it.
Yeah.
And then I came over here.
Oh no.
And I went like this. And I opened it up. Oh, look at this. Is this retaliation?
I don't know, man. In the shop, they're kind of in the shop.
Oh, because I thought I saw one of these and I thought, I don't remember leaving that there. Man, you got caught real quick.
You have no idea.
So I pulled this off though, and I looked in there, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna see Ronnie in April.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can show everybody how to do it, not just me.
Yeah, and you're missing that part right there. We'll fix it.
Oh. So when Ronnie showed me this quick disconnects, so that you can have hot water like this, I was all in. And if you notice, this has a regular spigot, so you can connect your regular hose up to this, and you can wash your RV with hot water.
It's amazing.
Which I thought was good. But the thing, if I were to use the outdoor shower, first of all, I took this silly lock off it, because that stuff just drives me crazy, having to get keys to open this, and I just put the little thumb twist thing. So I have that there, and now the quick disconnect. So if you want to swap this out, I've got an Amazon link for how I purchased this right here, and then Ronnie will tell you the steps.
Step 1, remove the box. I'm hoping we can do it this way. You can do it from the inside. It's just a lot more difficult to do it that way. So I'm hoping there's enough slack on the pipe to be able to do this from out here. This is like the cheat way.
Gotcha. Some sealant there, isn't there?
Just some Sika, it looks like. Hey, look at there. And there's not enough.
Oh.
Not enough.
So you were hoping there was enough slack on the back side of those.
Pull the box out so that I can get my hand back here. There is not enough. Not enough.
Darn.
So see, I should be able to hand you that guy, and then access will be through here. This might be better access. Let's see. And this is going to vary model to model.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, look at you can see it. Well, hello. How are you doing? You thirsty? Oh yeah, nice.
Ta-da.
Okay, so
now we're going to take these off.
look at that.
Hey, there we go. That's what we need to show everybody.
Boom.
There you go. And you have your regular water hose in there. We'll get that nice and tidied up when we get this set back in the hole like so. Here, I can hold this guy.
Oh, you excited that Mom's back? Yes. Yes. What'd you get?
Goodies.
What'd you get?
Got the goodies. Look at, we have sparkling water. We went to the market. We got side salad, lunch. You're making a quick connect so I can grill?
Yeah, for the Blackstone.
Wow.
Isn't that a good idea?
Wow. That is so cool. I didn't know that was happening.
Bottle anymore. You can just soak off the trailer here.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Be good.
Yeah,
So
I think anywhere in this area is fine.
So I mean, I can go, anywhere along this space.
Yeah, that's great.
Because that's how long the cable is.
Well, you've got that plus this. Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's got the end.
Yeah, let's just use that then.
So you got this end here.
Uh-huh.
So this end here it's like an air compressor, so you have to pull back and do like that. And then you have to turn it on.
That is the coolest
So
ever.
so the cool thing too is when you turn it on, there's this little thing. So right now, so you can slide it backwards. But when you turn it on, that little piece of metal blocks it from
coming off.
opening, so you can't accidentally disconnect it with it open. So you have to close it in order to take it off of there.
Wow.
So yeah, this will be the hose that you use. You will not need this hose. But yeah, this will just plug in like this. You got to push that back, lock it on there like that, and then open the gas, and you're good to go. Close the gas, you're good. Took out a plug out of the manifold back here. So this is like a distribution manifold for the propane system. And I added a flared fitting so that I can connect a compression hose to it here, and then we'll simply whip back around and add this guy, which is the quick connect for your hose that you have. So then this guy will just have to go back and get strapped up.
Yeah.
This is as short as I can get, but Trish will be happy with the quick connect. So, change the oil on the generator.
Yeah.
Drain plug is hidden by a plastic cap on the bottom, so I'm going to take this plastic cap out here.
Okay.
And then there is a 10mm bolt right here. There's kind of some oil all under here. It's kind of got some oil residue and all that. I'm not sure if the last guy who changed the oil didn't spill some. Oh,
that's nice and clean.
yeah, should be pretty clean. Propane being the fuel source helps a lot with that, and you don't have a ton of hours on this thing. So basically what we're doing is we're changing it at the beginning of your season.
Yeah.
And it'll need to be changed again next year. So typically the oil change interval is 150 hours after the initial 20-hour break-in. But
I'm nowhere near that.
we tell
I only
people,
got 48 total.
yeah. So, but we tell people it's 150 hours or once a season. So you're going to need to change it once a year, either way.
Okay.
So we're clean on that end. Here.
I need my iPad out here.
So that's the dipstick.
That's the dipstick and the fill hole.
Okay.
Here. So there's the dipstick, and you can see it gives you a full add and a quart of 10W30 oil.
Okay. Can you get this like oil pump at like Harbor Freight?
Yeah, Home Depot, Lowe's
Home Depot?
has them.
Oh, okay.
You can also get them at like AutoZone.
There you go. And you just can pump the whole thing, right? It takes 1 quart?
Takes 1 quart. Yeah, I'm just gonna pump it in.
Well, if you do it like this, how do you get it all over your arm?
You don't.
Oh, man.
Or my shop floor or anywhere else. So while we're at it, let's just go ahead and see how we're doing here on our air filter. So we'll take the air filter out. I just want to take a gander. We're nice and clean.
Oh, yeah.
Looks fine, no issues there. So won't always inspect that though and see while we're in it. And see, I just made a boo-boo, not really a boo-boo, but one that somebody didn't do. There's a breaker right here. And I just bumped that and tripped it off. So you need to make sure this breaker is always back.
Gotcha. Yeah, that'd be hard to discover.
Yeah, so you basically, your generator wouldn't put out any power because the breaker switch was tripped.
But it'd be on, so it'd be very confusing.
It would be. Yeah, it would be on and it'd be running, but you wouldn't be getting any power out of it. So we would think transfer switch or something like that along the way, but
upgrades, but I got a.
You left with the pound cake.
Yeah. So who's the real winner? Hey, you should really go see Tara watering her garden.
Yeah?
It is so awesome.
Is she doing it right now?
She's doing it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So we got tomatoes, lots of tomatoes. That's Ronnie's favorite. We have tomatoes, but the thing that I'm most proud of are the things that come up in seed form, because I can put it in the ground, it pops up. And these are rattlesnake beans, and so they're gonna grow up this here.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about them. And I have okra and corn over there, and they're starting to come up just a little. There. So.
Trish, which recipe is fried okra?
The good one.
Alabama.
Wow. You are so on brand, it's not even funny. You got the white vinegar sauce, something or other in the fridge.
Yeah, and then banana peppers and sweet peppers, dill, basil, and then my rosemary bush. And then those in the back are cucumbers. I got to put up one more gate so that we can make pickles. Wow. Yeah, I think that's everything.
And is the Kabuta side by side? Is that your gate to keep the deers out? Is it?
Because the gate has to be at least 8 feet tall, or deer will be able to jump over it. And we cannot find a door that's 8 feet tall. All cattle gates are like, the tallest you can get is, I think, 6 feet.
Who can play that game?
The kindergarten classrooms, you know.
Do you know what they're talking about?
I do not.
The
John,
low pro.
you need a picture of John sitting on it.
Low pro dumper 320. You got to go give it a shot.
All right, we're going to the low pro dumper.
So look.
Good, isn't it?
I like this.
Your knees are up high?
Yeah, I'm with this. I like this.
I got a thumbs up from John on the low pro dumper 320.
He likes
Huh?
He likes the elevated.
They got these blocks you put on the toilet, and they elevate your feet.
Yeah.
And it helps.
Well, he asked me to install grab handles, and I refused.
Look at that. What's that? Does that even come up to your knee?
No, I mean, look at that.
That's low.
So
anyway, it's called the low pro dumper 320.
Is it? No.
That's what I call it, but
Yeah.
it's the Dometic 320, and I call it the low pro dumper.
Wow.
Wow.
This is quite a throne. I really got my legs up here.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like a squatty potty toilet in one.
It's embedded.
The door open, man.
He's in there going with the door open and everything, man. I'm just trying to live.
This whole video is gonna be me just wandering around the shop, just like popping by every once in a while. I'm like, what y'all doing?
What y'all do?